welcome back, everyone. We've got the Timberwolves playing the Clippers tomorrow in the play-in game. So we've got some exciting basketball finally happening in Minnesota. We are built from day one. My name's Cameron. My co-host is Ashwin. We're actually going to be on Timberwolves Daily a little bit later tonight, possibly tomorrow, Tuesday, play-in day, for some content. So keep an eye out over there. Regardless, even if we aren't, check them out. They're awesome. But yeah, we're going to dive into some predictions, some just kind of predictions of both the game tomorrow and the rest of the playoffs. I do want to do a video later on maybe like an entire bracket breakdown, but I want to wait for the play-in games to be set, or not the play-in games to be set, but the playoff games to be set so that everything makes a little bit more sense. But I figured we're going to jump in here, watch some film of the Clippers game, one of the Clippers games that we played. We played the Clippers 4 times this year, obviously. We lost 3, won once. Now, all 3 of those losses did happen in November. So let's kind of get that film going here. All right, so we've got the first game that we played against the Clippers this year. We did play a play-in game, we played a preseason game that I believe we won, but what does that really matter? Although the preseason games were a little bit more realistic this year, they weren't the same. But so as I was saying, this was from a different time of Timberwolves basketball. I believe going into this game we were 3-3. After this, we went on to be 4-9. So we lost this game, and it put us not in a great spot to start the season. Obviously, hindsight, you look back and you think, wow, if we would have gone instead of 4-9, what if we go, 6-7 or 7-6 or something along those lines? But that doesn't matter now. We're playing the Clippers in the play-in. So Clippers are back to almost full health without Kawhi. I mean, that's a big missing piece of theirs. But I think there's going to be a lot of things to watch for in this game. I think, we're going to have fight. The Timberwolves, if you're looking to bet on this game, that's kind of scary. I don't know what I would do. Taking myself away as a Timberwolves fan, this is a really tricky one because you've got the Timberwolves who play to everyone's level, whether they're higher or lower. We play down, we play up, we play to our opposition's speed, everything. We play to our opponents and we beat them at their style, which is not the best for playoffs because these teams know their style and they can beat you at their own style. Now, at the same time, the Timberwolves have not had nothing games all year. It's not like we haven't played such bad teams all year. You play every team, and we ended up 46-36. But there are definitely things to be scared of as a Timberwolves fan, but things to be excited about. Think back to the Miami games that we had this year. I think we beat them both times. We played the Lakers in a pretty big game. I mean, the Lakers obviously are not who we thought they were. But, there were plenty of big games that the Timberwolves had this year. And they've stepped up in those moments. We beat the Mavs once out of twice here in the last stretch of games. Once at home, and then we lost the away one. Barely lost the away one and blew out the home one. Did lose to the Suns, which is why it is crucial that we win this game. And the way that we win this game is, Anthony Edwards recently said, I think today, Monday, the day before the play-in, he said that if we stop Paul George, we're going to win this game. That is 100% false. I love Ant, and I know that he's just doing media. I don't really take this to heart. Like, I don't think he literally thinks that they stop him and nobody else on the team can score. But I think it is important as a young team to understand that just if you take Paul George out of the game, this team is loaded. Even without Kawhi, this team is loaded. Their record is not what their real record should be. I mean, Paul George alone, can you stop him? I don't know. Even if you can, you've got, you got Reggie Jackson, you've got Morris, you got Terrence Mann, Timberwolves killer. And their centers are probably going to do quite well against us. Both Hartenstein, I believe it is, and Zubats. Both of them are going to do well against us and could have really high scoring and rebounding games. This team is a bad matchup for us because they can rebound well. They have a lot of 3-point shooters, and we give a lot of open threes. Um, this could be a lobs and three. This could be a lob city type of game for the Clippers. But if we have everybody come to play, if Anthony Edwards comes to play, if D'Lo comes to play, if Cat doesn't do anything stupid, this should be a really good game and could be close. We were talking about it last night on our show. We do live streams after every single show. So if you're ever interested, feel free to subscribe. We do this after every single game. And we will definitely be doing lots of stuff here in the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, this is so funny. Look at this. We're playing Josh Okogie. He was in the starting lineup this night, I believe. That's how early in the season we were. Funny enough, Josh might be a big part of us in the play-in playoffs. But if I had to guess on this game, if I'm going to go into my actual predictions here, I think it's all going to come down to how hot are the Clippers shooting. Can they make open shots? If they can make open shots, they should win this game. Not to say that we can't put up a fight, but if they're making open shots, they're going to win. Good news is that we don't have anybody on the injury report today, so that's the good news. Right now, I've been all back and forth on the live streams, as most of you probably know that are watching this. I was talking about it last night. I went from like 85% sure that we were going to lose to like 65%. Like, I'm all over the place. Right now, I'd say I'm somewhere in the realm of like 60% sure we're going to lose, 20 or 40% sure the Clippers are going to lose. So kind of all over the place. This is why I would not want to bet on this game. I don't even want to do prize picks on this game because this is the first time the Timberwolves are going to have like this version of the Timberwolves is going to have like a serious like opponent that has only one game. Sure, both of us could lose, play the Spurs or the Pelicans in the next game, but I don't think either of us want to lose. Neither of us want to do that because even if you win, your prize, as Ashwin was saying on stream last night, is you get to play the Phoenix Suns, who've won 60 plus games. You don't want that. And like we held our own for the most part in this game. We get into the third quarter here; it's already down 12. Can we come back from that? Last night against the Bulls with our Iowa Wolves, we came back. But I mean, these Paul George shots, you got to contain them. You have to contain Paul George. I mean, you've got. So I didn't even mention Norman Powell earlier. They just have so much talent on that team, and they're so deep. I won't be shocked if the Timberwolves win, but the Clippers should win. So that's what I'm thinking. Final score-wise, I just feel like it could be anywhere. I feel like it could be anywhere from like it's a 1-point game where we lose. But I kind of think if it's close, we have a better shot. We got the home crowd. Team's going to be hyped up. I feel like if it's closer, we'll probably win. If it's a blowout, either way, I'm scared because we've given up plenty of big leads. And we've also come back, from some deficits. So, I think though, if it is if the Clippers get out to a lead, I think it's going to be very hard for us to come back. Not that I'm saying we don't have fight. I just think it'll be really tricky. So, as you can see, we get to the fourth quarter, winning time, Clippers come to play. It's just over. We didn't lose this game by that much, actually. We lost our other games against the Clippers by more. But, I mean, and if Terrence Mann, I think he's going to have a real chance to go off against us just because I think we are going to defend. I feel like we are going to defend well in our starting five. What a dunk attempt by Ant. That was insane. It's going to be interesting to see the players that we throw out there because we could have Josh Okogie out there. We note, obviously, we don't have Nathan Knight or McKinley Wright. Not that we really planned on them being in playoffs either, but and fun fact, any game here could be the last Jake Layman game since he is on the last year of his contract. So keep an eye out for that. Also, the Pat Bev effect. I think Pat Bev will probably be pretty fired up to play his old team. Not that he has bad blood against them, but it'll be it's just there's so many things that are so exciting about the possibility of this that I can't wait. I will be at the game, so I'm just super pumped. But Uh, you know, this is just. I hope it's a good game. And look, we did come back in this game, but again, this was just a different team. This is so early on in the season. But right there, that's a prime example of things that I think were going to happen going down the stretch. I think even if we get close, they're just going to pull away because they've got these 3-point shooters that are just veteran players. This isn't like a 20-year-old Anthony Edwards taking a shot, or even a Cat who's been in the league 7 years but never really had any real experience. There's just a lot of different things that can happen. All right, so I've got the play-in pulled up here as the whole league. We've got us playing the Clippers, Pelicans, Spurs, Hawks, Hornets. That'll be an interesting one. And a Brooklyn-Cleveland matchup. So play-ins are going to be interesting. If I had to go ahead and predict the play-ins, I think my preference, not preference. Need to make sure that that's clear. Not my preference. But I think the Lakers, I keep saying the Lakers, the Clippers. I think the Clippers beat the Timberwolves, sadly. And they move into that Memphis game, which, man, that's crazy then. That's just crazy. But, and then Pelicans versus Spurs, I think the Pelicans will win. But I'll be completely honest with you, either one of them, I'm not super worried. I'm definitely not worried like I am about the Clippers. But, the Spurs have been better lately, but I think it's probably the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans win. But with the Pelicans, I don't really have any faith in them either in this game or in a game against the Timberwolves or Clippers for that matter. I think the Pelicans win. I think that they come to Target Center. It is certainly possible they could beat us. I'm not guaranteeing any outcome, but I do think that the Timberwolves probably should win that game. We've played them 4 times this year. We've won only 2 of them. Each one of us have won 2. So that would be a better matchup. I think that would be a more of a fun 7-game series for the Timberwolves where they are at this point. Because I think they should win that if that was a 7-game series, but it's not. It's a 1-game thing, which is always what makes you nervous because, 1 game and you're out. That's scary. So, but I do think the Timberwolves will win that. Out of the Hawks and the Hornets, man, feels like the Hawks have to win. I'm rooting for the Hornets, I guess. But I think the Hawks win. They've had more playoff experience. Probably the Hawks, and they'll be at home. The Hawks. I'll say the Hawks. And then between Brooklyn and Cleveland, Cleveland's been down lately. Brooklyn's been up lately. I'm going to say Brooklyn. That's a pretty easy one. And then it'll be Cleveland versus the Hawks. That's a closer one. I would root so heavily for Cleveland, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I think the Hawks would still win. So then you're looking at a 1-6 or a 1-8 seed in the West, being Phoenix versus the Timberwolves, and then the 2-7 being Memphis versus the Clippers. Then in the East, you're looking at Miami versus. Oh, I didn't choose the winner. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. It's gotta be the Hawks. So the Hawks play Miami, and then the 2-7 Boston versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn's gonna win that game too. That's maybe not necessarily. Boston's been really good. So, but that'll be a crazy series and too unfair to Boston. Just too bad, but crazy. Yeah, so there's a look at the play-in situation. We'll be back with more playoff content. As I said, we're gonna be doing a ton of stuff. We're gonna do post games. Our post game shows are probably gonna be like 2 hours long every night. It's gonna be insane. But I hope to see you around. I hope to see you in the chat during one of those. All opinions are welcome. This is a place to vent. You can be happy, celebrate with us, because let me tell you, if the Timberwolves win tomorrow night versus the Clippers at Target Center, the post-game stream is going to be insane. Me and Ashwin are not going to be able to form thoughts because we will be too excited. I know all of our friends that join us every night in chat are going to be crazy. And the people from our Discord. Shout out our Discord. But yeah, I appreciate you all watching. Let me know if you want to see stuff like this in the future. Leave a like by doing that or comment on the video. I'm always down to record content, but it's always kind of tricky to know exactly when and how much because, we do daily shows basically. So, but yeah, it was good chatting with you, and We'll see you after the Timberwolves play the Clippers in the first play-in game. See you tomorrow night.